Hello, Hot Vibes, and welcome back to a recap of A Ticket to Heaven, Episode 2.
Already episode 2. I got so much shit to say.
That ending scene, I have so much fucking to say about that.
So much to say. And there's like a little bit in the middle too that I was like obsessed with direction wise that I need to fucking talk about. Like it was. I'm ready. I'm very excited.
Oh, I'm so excited. But before we get into it, and before we end up pleasuring ourselves for the first time.
Oh yes, that's right. We're doing a thing now.
That's the thing I'm doing. That was the only thing I think of because that seems iconic, and we'll get there. Anything eventful happened in the past like 8 hours since we last talked?
No. I usually watch like random little reactions to Running Man Thailand before I go to bed these days. So I was like going through looking for my favorite moments. I fell asleep at like 2 something. Set my alarm. I was like, this time I'm waking up at 8. I'm ready. My alarm went off and I turned it off and apparently fell back asleep. So I don't even remember. I barely remember it even going off. I must have just gone, yep, slide. And then and it was just done. So oops. But thank God my body clock woke me up at like 9:10. So like I was like, shit. It was around the same time I woke up last time as well. But I went slower last time. This time I was like, no, I'm on my game. I promised myself. And also, if I do anything a little later than normal, my whole day is thrown off track because we have the live stream later, and I have Pride for at least 2 hours. So yeah, that's the thing that's been happening. But I woke up, I slammed some turtle chips in my mouth. I grabbed my medication. I got some Oishi, and I'm ready to go. I'm very excited. And God, I'm glad it hooked me. I knew it would because it's Ticket to Heaven, but it hooked me in immediately. So I was ready to go. I'm excited. I'm awake. How was yours? Less
So I went to bed. I was drunk last night. I woke up at 4:30. How I woke up before you I was hungover and still kind of drunk. Not gonna lie. I still feel a little drunk for some reason. I also had when I came into the garage, there were like 5 fucking flies flying around.
Bro, no lie. I literally can't go in my laundry room for the time being because every time we go in there, there's a big ass fly, and my mom has to go in and kill a few before she does the laundry. Okay, like, and it stresses me out. There's such big flies too that the buzzing is like louder. And
yeah, there were like one of them in here, and then like 4 other like little baby ones just like flying around like quietly fine, but like the big fat buzzy one was like. Anyway, episode 2, Ticket to Heaven. What man among you having 100 sheep and losing one of them would not leave the 99 in the desert and go after the lost one until he finds it?
It's like the trolley problem, you know, like
15:4.
It's like with the trolley problem is like the needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few. Could be, you could see it in that light, or you could be like, is it worth it to abandon all of these to at least save one soul that could die on its own? So like, what is the best option? Should I just like abandon something that's alone and scared probably, or should I save more than I can just save one? It's interesting. I like that they started with that.
Also, I'm fun fact. I'm wearing the "I'm Not Your Backup Plan" shirt.
Yes, I saw. I'm still wearing the Romeo and Romeo.
Yeah,
because I'm wearing it to
only
Pride
friends
today.
During Ticket to Heaven because
there's no Ticket to Heaven merch yet.
Yeah, and also
if there's, I'll cry because I have no money.
Anyway, we see that father had just finished scolding Konkit. So
as long as he was scolded,
he got in trouble too, which I did appreciate.
Yes, he got in trouble too. I'm still peeved that they got in trouble in general.
Honestly, I kind of understood it once he explained it.
I understand what he's saying. He's like, why didn't you come to me, kind of.
Yeah, he essentially said, if you were having an issue, you come to an adult, me or Master Pac. You tell someone, you don't go off and do shit on your own. And they went and did shit on their own, and they did. Honestly, it was kind of dangerous. Like, if you think about it, that could have gone really bad. It
could have gone bad. At first, when he was talking, I was like, what do you mean? We couldn't have known this was going to happen. And I was like, oh, like, in general, with the bullying, you should have come to us before.
I also love the fact that not one of us came up with the idea of being like, hey, maybe you should tell someone.
Yeah, we fully were just like, damn, that sucks.
The idea went, which is a very reasonable answer, went right over both of our heads, and I was like, wow, we're kind of dumb, aren't we?
Yeah, apparently we wouldn't go to an adult in this situation.
Well, we're adults now, so.
Yeah, it's fine. We
dealt with it on our own. Like, we would break into that pool.
It's chill. It's fine.
Yeah. And then a father dismisses Bart. and talks to Tamrock alone. And he's like, I asked you to look after him because I thought you would take better care of him.
Well, honestly, he has, though. He has been his safe space.
Yes. But what he meant was, when you saw there was trouble like this, you should have came to me or Master Pak so we could help and we could handle it.
Yeah.
Because we kind of see that him going out and helping Bart on his own was kind of him, I guess, as they say, falling off the path.
Fair enough. I can see.
Because he's like doing things that he knows he should. He knew he shouldn't have been doing that. Like he knows that.
I think in any normal situation, I really do think that he probably would have told like one of them and been like, "Oh, this guy's getting bullied.
Well, if this
stop
was
this."
so hot, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't.
Exactly. Is the thing is he likes him, so he's like, his brain is like predetermining like, "Oh, I should talk to him over here. Like, I shouldn't talk to him at all about this. I should talk to him over here. But I should protect him myself." Like, it's kind of, if it was a different situation with a different kid, I feel like his, autopilot would tell him to.
Well, he wouldn't have been tempted by lust, as we learn later this episode.
Desire.
Lust, desire.
All that stuff.
Anyway, then we have Bart outside writing, "Anger is quelled by patience."
Yeah, what are those called? That's called something when you have to write something over and over.
Oh, the punishment where you have to write things down over and over again?
Yeah, it's called something and I could not for the life of me remember what.
Oh, I didn't know it was called something. I just thought it was a thing that happens.
Because it was killing me over, in my reaction. Writing lines, I guess is what it was called. That sounds familiar. Yeah, it's like I've seen it in a few shows where it's like, I had to write lines or something like that, where it's like, you gotta do it like over and over and over. Yeah, it does. I've seen it in a few different shows. I've also seen it in the opening credits of The Simpsons.
Well, I was going to say the most infamous one is Bart in The Simpsons, because every time it's fucking different, which I appreciate.
I've never watched an episode of The Simpsons, but I know that he has to write that over and over again.
Well, it's funny, because he writes something different every time, so it's like...
Yeah, he does.
Which I think is cool.
That's really cool.
Because the intro is never the same. No.
Cool, I do like that they change it every time. That's actually pretty creative.
Well, then we have Master Pak coming over, and he's like, "Oh, you're studying?" And he's like, "No, I got in trouble, so I'm trying to do this." And they look over at kids playing football, and he's like, "Oh, do you play?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I don't really want to, or not sure."
Question. I think I misread this, and I think I voiced it in my reaction. But, like, they don't know each other from before, do they?
Bart and Pak?
Yeah. I don't think they do. Okay. Because he said something like, I can't remember what it was. It was something like, we've known each other for a bit, so why are you calling me master, or something like that. And so my brain went, oh, they've known each other for a while, like from before. And so like I thought, but I think he meant that like, oh, you've been here for a bit, like all the other kids don't call me master like that.
Yeah, like it's more casual
to my face.
Yeah, I know we talk about him being younger, and he's like, I'm not that old.
Yeah, I think it's more that like he's like trying to like make sure that Bart feels comfortable enough around him where he can like just speak informally kind of thing. So, because he seems to like be that kind of person with all of the kids of just like, hey, treat me as like your brother and not like some figure that you have to like obey or anything like that.
And honestly, I really like him.
I like him. I think he's nice. He seems really nice.
He gives off a good vibe. He seems very responsible. He's not an asshole.
Yes.
Like,
he seems like a good dude.
Yeah, and he goes play soccer or football with the youth.
Yeah, with the youth.
So then, as you know, everyone does their prayer before they eat. Bart enters, and Tamrock kind of like looks at him, and then Deck's like, "Up to you." And he calls him over, and there's like a little awkward exchange before Deck goes. And that's gonna confuse the fuck out of me. Those two.
Yeah, I know.
Goes up and gives him a cup.
This is kind of funny.
He seems like he's mad. Seems like he doesn't like him, and then he's like, "Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around."
This is funny, yeah. At first, I was like, I swear to God, Billy's fucking right. But like,
I still think I am.
I know you do, and we're still placing bets with that. But like,
fine.
But I do like this because I was worried for a second too, and then he came back. He's like, "I'm just kidding. Sit down." I was like, "Okay, fair enough."
Yeah, and he explains that everyone's just scared of you because they think you'll punch them.
Fair enough. Because that seems to be what he did. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I heard that he knocked out a guy with one punch.
Yeah, so apparently this one punch was crazy.
Which is crazy because you remember in the flashback, he started pounding on the kid multiple times.
He kept going, yeah.
So he knocked him out and then proceeded to beat him.
proceeded to keep going. Yeah. That's crazy. Like
that's like you want to kill this person.
There's a lot of animosity in there, I would say.
That's that's like a you should like that's like a you're aiming for the kill. Like you are aiming for the kill.
That was I think that really symbolizes the like lack, well, I guess lack, but like less control that Bart has over his feelings than Tanrock maybe, because as we see throughout this episode, Tanrock he has like a little more control over any emotion he has. He's like really holding on to it. Meanwhile, Bart doesn't really have any, and so he just like kept going with the punches as well. And it also shows that he's like he feels like he's free to like think and to like go about things a certain way rather than Tanrock. So I feel like that's shows their like differences as well in a really interesting way.
Yeah. So then as Tanrock and Bart are washing their hands, Tanrock says, he's like, do you like the kids messing with you or teasing you? Because if you don't, I can tell them to stop and they will. And Bart's kind of like, he shrugs off. He's like, doesn't really care. Mm. And he flicks him with water as he leaves.
Yeah, he's like looking at him. I'm like, come on. He's fucking with you. And you can see him smile just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit, like the beginning of a smile. And I'm like, we're getting there.
So then we have Tanrock with one of the teachers getting to pass out all the, I guess, test booklets. He takes a peek at his grade. He got 10 out of 10, obviously. But then takes a peek at Bart and sees he got 4 out of 10. Yeah, so then he starts passing them out in class. And Bart comes over and sits in Kongdek's seat. And he's like, hey, can I sit here? I can't see the board from all the way back there. And he's like, that's Kongdek's seat. You can ask him. And Kongdek like walks in and is standing there. And he's like, oh, can I sit here? And he's like, yeah, sure. And goes to sit in the back of the class.
Honestly, like with Tanrock and with Kongdek, I feel like because they seem to be such like at the forefront of like we are training to, get ordained and everything like that, he wouldn't have said anything but yes. He would have been like, kindness first, like what would God do? What would Jesus do? WWJD. Like he would. Like maybe personally he may not want to, but he would.
Well, yeah, we definitely see the look on his face where he's like, I don't want to, but okay.
I don't want to, but I feel like I gotta. And if anything, whatever this is going to put a strain on their friendship for sure. And we see it throughout the episode.
He's definitely jealous.
Yeah.
Of their relationship. Whether, again, I could be wrong and it's not, he doesn't have romantic feel for Tanrock and he's jealous as like a friend. He's losing his best friend.
Yeah.
Or I'm right, which I could be, and I think I am, that he does like Tanrock and he is jealous that, this new kid's coming around and like not only taking him away as his best friend, but also as his potential love interest. And now it's like a double whammy. At
the very least, it's definitely going to put a strain on because like they hang, as we've seen, they hang out all the time. They're the two that hang out. As with everyone says in this episode, they're like, you
everyone's
guys are really
like,
close,
you
right?
two? I thought
you two always hang out. Like,
yeah,
what's going on? And now they're going to be hanging out less because Tanrock is spending more time with Bart. And so whatever is going on, it's going to put a strain on their friendship for sure.
Yeah. So then Tanrock's talking about the Christmas party where everyone had to do something for it. And he asks Bart what he likes to do. And he's like, I don't like doing anything. And then he gets put in the reception team.
Yes.
And Tanrock's like, that's good since you don't like doing anything. Your reception team's good for you. And
it's probably like greeting or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, come on in. Here's your seat.
Yeah. And then Bart's like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, I'm in a choir. And he's like, oh, I want to do that too. And he's like,
I'll come with you.
Sorry.
He wants to go everywhere that he's going. One, probably because he's developing a crush on him, but also two, because as previously established, he has become his safe space. He's become the person who's been kindest to him, and the only person he feels like he can like actually like count on in a way. So like he's like clung to him fast. Like it's because everyone else has been kind of like shit towards him, which lessens a bit in this episode as I can see. Is definitely something where he's like, oh, you're the only one I can trust. Like, I'm gonna latch right on.
So then later, Bart finds Tanrock in church praying. And he's like, so what are you doing? And he's like, praying. He's like, do you do this every day? He's like, well, I'm asking for redemption. And he's like, for what? And he's like Father said, for what happened the other day. It was my fault too.
But also this really shows that like even the smallest things make him worry that he's doing a colossal wrong thing that will stop him from going to heaven and seeing
right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, even the smallest things will get to him like that. So it really shows, like, the amount that will stress him out. So the fact that, like, all this is now happening and he's starting to break away from, like, the rules that have been seemingly preset, it shows, like, how much it's probably going to stress him out even more if this is something that is able to, like, rattle him, like this small thing.
Yeah, and Bart takes blame. He's like, look, it was my fault. Next time, just don't help me.
No, yeah, but he's gonna, like...
Well, yeah. And Tamara's like, hey, I should tutor you because father assigned me to be your buddy. And then Bart's like, oh, so can you tutor me? And he's like, why? And he's like, because we're friends. And he's like, who said we're friends?
Who said we're friends? We're already starting with the banter, bro.
Oh, yeah. So then Bart rides up on a bike as Tamara were there waiting, and he went out campus to get food. And he's like, that's breaking the rules. You shouldn't have done that.
Bro,
It
what
looks
roti?
so good. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I looked it up during my reaction. Let me tell you what it is.
Oh, tell me what it is.
In fact, let me get the Google definition up because I don't want to fuck up. But I like literally looked it up in the middle of my reaction, and I was like, "Oh fuck! I need to like learn how to make this, or like get this immediately when we go to Thailand." It's a popular crispy and flaky flatbread street food dessert from Thailand. Brought to the country by Indian immigrants, the dough is hand-stretched, paper-thin, pan-fried in butter or oil, and usually folded around fillings like sliced bananas or eggs. It is commonly finished with a drizzle of sweetened condensed milk and sugar.
That sounds so fucking good.
Bro, the second I saw sliced bananas, like, I was like, I'm sorry, sweet dough around sliced bananas covered in sugar? You had me at bananas.
Literally at the end when he's, like, offering it to him, I'm like, oh my god, I forgot what I said. But I was literally just like, oh my god, like, you should, like, take it.
Literally, like, he, like, at that point, he was like, here, have some. And I was like, if he doesn't want it, I'll take it. Like, I want it so badly. I'm gonna, like, at some point, I feel like I want to make a video of, like, learning how to make that or something like that, or figuring out how to make that, because you had me at sliced bananas. Like, if it's a sweet treat with bananas in it, I'm in. Okay, as long as there's no nuts, I'm down.
Yeah, I would eat the fuck out of that.
Oh, sounds so good.
I was like, I was like, a whole ending scene, I was like, just give it the lust, I would. Like, if fucking someone offered me that, I'll take it.
Yeah, honestly, if that's lust, I'm in. What, like, let me see, like, I was gonna look and see.
Also, I'm not sure if this has anything to do with anything. And maybe I am thinking too much, and you can tell me if I am.
Okay.
Is it at all intentional that the roti?
That's what I was gonna look how to say it. Let me look this up. Roti. So roti. Yeah.
Okay. Is it at all intentional that the roti thing looks a little bit like phallic shaped?
I don't think so. If it
and
is,
like because it's the whole talking about because he starts eating it as talking about lust and desire control, and then at the end we see it's still the lust desire. Like, oh, do you want some? As he's like wiping his lips and like he goes out for the roti with the hand and the thigh thing. Like a lot of it kind of revolves around that just happens to look in a certain way that could maybe.
It could have been that it looks a certain way and they meant it to look a certain way, but like I feel like it wouldn't have been like a big thing they wanted that they meant for anyone to focus on because it doesn't like zoom in or anything.
Well, no, and that's and I think it's like a small thing where maybe it's just like thrown in there for like it, like like if you notice, you notice. If you don't, you don't. It's fine. Like it's not gonna take or add anything.
I see that.
But
I see. If anything, it's a very like one of those small inserts. But
yeah.
But I've seen like I feel like I got like deja vu searching up roti. So like I was like I've seen this before. I don't remember where, but I've seen this before. So I'm now gonna spend the rest of the day going, where the fuck have I seen this before? Because I know that I know it was in a video or something like that. Because I'm maybe not. I don't know why, but I remember sitting there watching something and then Googling what the fuck is this, and going I need to make that. So like now if it's twice I need to do it. You know like I'm not gonna wait for the third time. I need to make this.
So then we cut to them talking about lust, which means desire controlling us. And again, it's as Bart is literally like holding the roti and like he's like flailing around in his hands, and like
I feel like you noticed that more than anything. I didn't notice.
No, I know. No, I didn't notice when I was reacting, but I'm watching it now. And I'm just like, I feel again, like
yeah, it might be if you notice it, you notice it kind of thing.
Yeah, because then we get into him asking like, oh, what if you can't stop the lust? And you know, Tom Rock's like, oh, you just fight it. And Bart's kind of like,
Which sounds exhausting. It sounds so exhausting to do that. Like, it really does. Honestly, I mean, no wonder, like, by the end of this episode, Tanrak, like, he seems like there's not really a smile on his face through the rest of the episode, you can tell. Like, there was, and then once they're caught and they have to be sent out to write down saints' names, that's when, like, you don't see a smile for the rest of the episode. Because it's like, he's spending so much of his energy just, like, fighting that.
And it's not easy with Bart always hanging around him.
No, yeah, definitely. It makes it harder.
Yeah. But going back to what I was saying about the roti thing. Like,
yes,
because we do talk about the lust and, like, the desire in fighting it. And he's like, why fight it? And then he immediately goes to, have you ever tried this roti in front of the school? So he immediately changes it to that. And he's like, oh, why don't you try it? It's like, again, very much implying that the roti is the lust and desire. And
I do see that. I agree with you there that he, like, attributes it to that. Yeah. And it's very much like, are you going to take it or not?
Yeah. So I feel like and then, you know, maybe just the fact that it does slightly look a bit phallic shaped. It's like, oh.
You were talking to the wrong person for that. That's what you think.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like it may have been intent. I don't know. I feel, because the roti seems to play a part every time we talk about lust and desire and stuff. And now it's like.
I feel like, I do agree that I think it's, like, kind of a metaphor of, like, will you take this snack or not, is, like, a smaller version of will you take my hand or not kind of thing. So, because obviously he didn't take his hand later in the episode, but, like, it's kind of presented as, like, a step to doing that. Like, at least I can do this for now, and then maybe I'll work up to the other.
Yeah, so then we cut ahead to some time, and Bart's asleep. Tanrak wakes him up, and we see that Tanrak is reading something, and Bart takes it. It's a riddle about one person's lying, one person's always telling the truth, and the other person is half and half. I fucking hate these riddles.
It's like a brain teaser of some sorts, and I paused it to try and think it through. I know, I'm not really a brain teaser person, but I sat there trying to think it through, and I wasn't sure either, so I was like, tell me. And then they don't tell you till later. But honestly,
they only tell you one of them. They don't tell you everything.
That's true. He only tells you one of them. But, like, it's really interesting because it made me think about it throughout the entire episode. I kept going back to it in my head, and I was like, obviously we're going into the pre-assumption that Tanrak is the believer because this is his whole thing. However, like, it could very easily be that he's the lost one, at least in Bart's eyes, maybe. Like, you could attribute it to, like, either or. Like, depends on who's looking at the situation, I guess. I like, halfway through the episode, I went, what if he's not the believer? What if he's the lost one? And it kind of changed the riddle in my mind. But, like, you can see the riddle kind of, like, popping up without it even having to be mentioned throughout the episode, and I find that really interesting.
Yeah. I personally think that the lost one's always telling the truth. The believer's always lying, and the lover's half and half. That's the conclusion I came to.
I came to the conclusion that because he says that the lost one later, he says the lost one is the one who's always telling the truth. I came to the conclusion that the believer is half and half because they're always trying to, like, because they do believe and they have, like, their own truth, but also a lot of the times that's not going to be enough, and they have to, like, lie to themselves or others to convince themselves that certain things are true. And then the one that was left was that the lover is always the lying one. But I wasn't sure why at that point. But I honestly, at this point, I think I said that I think that the lost one might be the one who's always telling the truth, because I was looking at it from, like, if Bart is the lost one and Tanrak is the believer, I was like, well, Bart seems to be very, like, jaded. When you're the lost one, you're, like, jaded, you don't care about anything anymore, and when you don't care about anything anymore, you don't care who you hurt, and so you'll just let whatever you think come out, and so you're very honest that way, whether it hurts someone else or not. So I always thought from this point on that he was going to be the honest one, the lost one.
So then the next day we see that Bart is stuck in class in the reception team before he sneaks out and joins the choir by throwing Tanrak under the bus.
Yeah, he kind of does. I do like that we don't see him leave. I like that we're kind of, like, in the teacher's shoes of, like, not even realizing that, like, he's there and then snuck out. Like,
but we knew he was gonna sneak out.
We knew he was gonna, but he was, like, sitting there and bored, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And then the teacher was like, hello? And I'm like, oh my god, he left and we didn't even notice either. That's really great. I like how they did that.
Yeah, so he goes to choir, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Tanrock said that I could join or whatever," or like that he had a message.
Yeah, I was like, stop getting him in trouble.
Yeah, he pretty much threw him under the bus, and he's like, "Yeah, it's fine." And then he's like, "Okay, well, sing. Let's see what you got." He does. Obviously, we know he can sing. Beautiful. To no one's surprise. And it's like, great, you'll be in the same part as Tanrock.
Beautiful. Similar voices, I guess, but
yeah.
Also, he sings really well, so he's like, hey, good voices up front.
Yeah. So afterward, we see them cleaning up the room, and Bart asks about Saint Cecilia, and Tanrock explains that she's a patron saint of music because I guess she was singing in her heart when she died or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. And he was like, but how'd she hear?
He's like, how did you hear? And he's like, oh, God always hears. And Bart kind of makes like, oh, okay.
I figured that's what was going to be said. It's
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then he's like, do you know every saint or something? And then he drops stuff, and he's like, oh, shit, and they go to help. And we see the song that he's never done before.
Yes. It's very interesting.
And then he asks him why his name's Tanrock.
Yeah.
And then we cut to
he keeps like not telling him for a second. And I think he brings him here so he can tell him.
Right. And one of the kids is like, hey, where's Kondek? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, oh, you two are always together. Normally, I thought he'd be with you.
And I think at this moment, he goes like, have been kind of like not really talking to him much, have I? Like, you can kind of see it on Tanrock's face where he's like, for a second. He's like,
spoiler, we don't see him do anything about it though. Like, it's not like he's like, oh shit, I should go talk to him. He doesn't interact with him the rest of the episode.
No, he probably thought that, and then his next thought was like, wait, I'm here because I wanted to tell him why my name is Tanrock. So like, and it just kind of like is a fleeting thought for him.
Yeah, I do feel bad for Kondek.
I do too, because like that's your best friend. So it's again, I feel like the balance would be a bit healthier here had he not grown up like with this like mentality of like I can't step outside, I have to control myself all the time. Because with that, like when you like in quotes lose control or like start drifting, then you're gonna attach yourself to the thing you're drifting towards, and by doing that you ostracize every other friendship that you have, and you just kind of like don't think about it because it's all that's in your head because you've never had all of that in your head before. So like if we were not in church and if we were not here with this big set of rules that we had to follow, it definitely would have played out differently. I think he wouldn't have like not thought about his friend much. So
then Tanrock reveals to Bart that his mother was having trouble conceiving him, and she went here to pray, and after she got pregnant with him, she named him Tanrock because it represents the love that the Holy Mother gave her. So is the Holy Mother named Tanrock?
Let's see.
And that's why.
Let's do some Googling.
Or maybe Tanrock means Holy Mother, if you translate or something.
Is that Mary? Are we talking about Mary?
Holy Mother.
Okay, well, is that Mary?
I don't fucking know. I'm asking you.
Okay. Translates from Thai to English as to replace love, a love offering, or acting on behalf of love. So it's kind of like a show of like love and gratitude towards the Holy Mother.
And he goes on to add that he comes here and prays and asks that if he ever goes to heaven, to let him see his parents.
Yeah, which we know is the basis of everything he believes at this point.
Yeah, everything.
This whole being, his whole soul.
Yeah, and Bart says, next time I can come here with you. And then next day in class, we see that Tanrock's pass out stuff, and Bart goes with him. And it's where some of the kids are like, hey, when did Tan and Bart become best buddies?
Yeah, everyone's watching like, dang, when did this happen?
Yeah, and they're like, Kondek, what happened? And he's like, I don't know, something.
He's looking after him, whatever.
Yeah, we do see he's a little...
He's a little upset about that. Because it's like, suddenly your friend has not talked to you for a bit because they're too busy. It's like...
Yeah, and potential crush too. So it's like...
Okay, yeah, that's your thing, but sure.
No, but it's if it's that, it's a double whammy.
If so, yes, that's painful.
And that's a lot worse to feel. Like, it's like not only you're losing your best friend, you're losing your best friend who's also your crush.
There could also be the possibility that if he does have a crush on him, he doesn't know it yet, or he didn't know it beforehand, and now that it's like all this is happening, jealousy is coming out that way.
sexual awakening too.
Yeah, there you go. In
there are two sexual awakening tags in the Gagulala thing.
There are. Maybe that's what they meant.
Yeah, I mean, Bart kind of already seems to know what he wants. So I don't think Bart's having any sexual awakening. Did I just crack the code of why there's two sexual awakening tags in Gagulala? If I'm right about...
I will literally cry if you're right again. You can't be right about everything.
I hope I am. Anyway, then they go to a teacher who's on the computer, trying to save a document, and Bart's like, I got this, and he sits down and does it. And she's like, damn, if you ever decide to, like, give up being a priest or whatever, you should work on this, you know, be more of a techie or whatever. And he's like, let me finish school first, I'm too lazy for that, as is. And then she even asks, when did you two get so close?
Yeah, when did you get, like, even she's noticing, like, hang on.
Like, even the teachers are noticing, that's when you know it's like, okay.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time together. Yeah.
Like y'all aren't subtle.
No. They spend a lot of time together and it's being noticed by literally everybody. I like that we can see that based on everyone else's reactions.
And I will say, I think it's interesting that outside the first scene, we have not seen Kunk get this episode. Because I think maybe he got suspended or for a short time. And he'll probably be back.
He could have done.
And when he does and knows all this shit, we know he's gonna be
there's gonna be shit. Yeah, that because the first time we really meet him, like, and see like his actual true personality is when he's bullying a queer kid. So it's
maybe
really,
we don't even know if he is or not.
We don't even know if he is or not. But like honestly, it really sets the basis of his character about what we're gonna see from him in the future. They go, oh no, this is who he is. So just wait till he comes back, kind of thing. Like it's where we know what he's gonna be like.
So she asked, how did you two become friends? And Tamara's like, we're not friends. I'm just felt bad for him.
And you can see that they know each other or teasing each other. Like, you know, they're fucking with each other.
Which means they really are friends.
Yeah.
Then at Mass, we see that Bart and Tanrock are cleaning. And then Tanrock notices two girls. And Bart immediately fucking comes over to him and he's like, who's that?
To bring it back all the way to Bad Buddy, there's a fucking list of, like, ways to tell if someone has a crush on you. Like, that Pa comes up with and tells Pat about. And the third one on the list is they'll want to know if you're taken or not. In fact, all of them are in this episode. You'll like, all of the rules. Because the rule number 1 was, like, the touch will give it away. And there are so many shots of them holding, like, touching each other's hands, or like any touches that happen, the touch will give it away. That's rule number 1. That's in this episode. Okay. Rule number 2 is the way, I think it's like, look into the eyes and they'll tell you. And you can see it on, like, especially Tanrock's face, like the way he was like looking at.
I thought that was the last rule, where it's like,
no, the last rule is like you can't be yourself around them because you're always like hiding something. Okay. Yeah. So, and that was kind of like an excess rule. So it's kind of in this episode because he's like, it seems that he's like, he wanted to give his hand to Bart to go with him, but he didn't. So he is hiding a part of himself away at this moment. So all of these rules are in this episode. I love that. Beautiful. Also, did Off do Bad Buddy?
Yes, he did. I was just gonna say, well, Off did direct, I'm pretty sure, Bad Buddy and this one too. So it's like,
continuity, Off. Continuity. Well done.
Damn, between
Make this into a short. I want to say thank you to Off. Thank you, Off, for your continuity. This is amazing.
Right? Yeah. Can you go fact check me on that? I'm almost positive he did, but I do want to double check in case we are so wrong.
If we're wrong, this is not good.
But I'm like, I'm 99% sure it was him.
Don't make this a short if we're wrong. Let's see if Bad Buddy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's his hang on. There's his. No, yeah, he did do Bad Buddy.
Okay.
So yeah, Off. Hi, thank you. This is
well done.
Well fucking done. That this is like, honestly, I found that connection for Bad Buddy. That made me really happy. But also, like, this episode and so far the show in general is directed so well. Like, the whole team that worked on the show is just chef's kiss. Like, everything I've noticed in this episode, it made me so happy to see. Like, it's so well done, so well made already.
Yeah. So then we got Tanrock explain that they're just friends that he used to know, childhood friends, and Bart's even like, oh, really, just friends?
Oh, just friends? Yeah. Number 3.
And then he goes over to them to say hi, introduce Bart, but then Bart leaves. And Cherry is explaining that, oh my god, guess what? Your old house got turned into 7-Eleven.
This broke my heart, okay? No, because this, like, thoroughly broke my heart because it made me think of, like, going back to California for the first time in, like, a year and a half and, like, seeing all the old things I used to go to, seeing my house, but it being someone else's, and all the things that I once, held so, like, in such a big place in my art, and, like, thinking on it and going, if those, like, I did cry when I was there and it was bittersweet, but if I could never see it again, if it was torn away, if everything, if the tree I used to climb died forever ago and I didn't know, if all of that was just gone and in the past, I don't know what I'd do. I would, like, it was sad to know that they were there and they weren't mine anymore, but, like, to never have that and never be able to see that again, I would, like, I'm just getting choked up now, bitch. Like, this, oh no, fuck, stop it. Inside, don't cry. Like, it's, oh, when I heard that, like, the tears were already springing to my eyes and I was like, oh shit, no, that's so upsetting for him. Like, I felt so bad for him. You could tell it hurt him and he didn't want anyone else to, like, worry about him. Like, he didn't want the girls to worry about him like that.
Yeah, well, oh even chimes in. She's like, oh, you seem all quieter now, Tenrock.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's fucking depressed at his house is a 7-Eleven.
Yeah. But also, like, I feel like in general quiet, like, over, like, I don't want to say, like, the years, but, like, he probably has quieted down quite a bit. Not being at home or around his friends because, like, from presumably a very young age, we saw him as a kid before, like, it was all kind of taken away from him so fast that, like, he's now being brought up in a different way, and it's definitely quieted him down.
Yeah, so then the girls leave. We see Tenrock practicing piano.
This is what I want to talk about! This is the directions choice I want to talk about. Because when Bart comes in, or comes to talk to him, for a second, the words, like, God always sees us is between them.
I brought that up, and I was like, oh, I know that's supposed to be a, like, make you feel good. That sounded creepy.
It was between them. Like, literally, like, he stood there watching him for a second, and it's between them. And then 2 seconds later, he walks and moves directly in front of it, so it's no longer in between them. And he's, like, stepping past it and kind of pushing past it in a way. And you don't see that sign for the rest of the scene in full, like, uncut view. Like, that was a masterful, if that wasn't, like, supposed to happen and that was just a happy accident, holy crap, what a happy accident. But if that was purposeful, that was made so, like, with so much intention behind it. Like, the fact that, like, it was between them and then Bart himself stepped in front of it to, like,
yeah, he, like, blocked
kind of, like,
it. He, like, covered it up.
Yeah, he covers it up. He closes the difference between, he did the distance between them. And he makes that not a thing that's an issue between them in a way. It's so symbolic. It's so perfect that if it was an accident, I will be fucking shocked. Like, the blocking was so meticulous there, and the fact that they have that there, and that sign looks like it wants you to see it as well. Like,
because I noticed it too, and, like,
exactly,
the fact that both of us noticed it and it wasn't pointed out in the show means that it wasn't like
it could have very easily, like, blended in with the background. It could have been, like, a similar color to the other signs, and you wouldn't have noticed it. But it was a stark blue, and it was a blue that was different from, there wasn't any other, like, poster or thing there that was, like, that color that was, like, big and pointed out, so that they wanted you to see this sign. And, like, it's this scene, like, I had to pause multiple times to go, bro, this is the best thing I've ever watched in my life.
So Bart does come over, and he's like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm practicing for the Christmas party. And they're like, oh, can you teach me how to play? And he's like, okay. And turns out, Bart knows how to play, and he's like, you're a tease.
He's like, I never said I didn't know. I just wanted you to teach me. Yeah.
And then they start talking about their favorite
This whole time he's wanting to make sure that he's trying to get him to smile again, because he noticed that he wasn't smiling before because of the news about his house. So I like that this whole scene was him being like, no, look, smile just a little bit. Yeah,
and we see they talk about their favorite keys, and he's like, oh, I thought you would pick this one, but not that one.
He was like, they all sound the same, and I was like, nah, but, like, you have a favorite, because I used to play piano, but I haven't in a very long time, and so I don't even remember what my favorite would have been. But, like, whenever you're playing anything, it's like when you hit a certain note, you're like, oh, no, this is nice. I'll just, like, put my hand there every once in a while when I walk by, just, that's nice. Like, you have a favorite. So, like, it's like, if you could only hear one note for the rest of the time, what would it be? And so I like that they had this discussion. Is really interesting. And it shows, I like that Bart was then like, really, this is your favorite? I would have thought this was because, I don't know, it feels more you. So it's kind of like seeing him from Bart's point of view and from his own point of view.
Well, then Bart chimed in with his own favorite, this one, because it sounds like it doesn't belong.
That's really
which means
cool.
Bart picks his favorite and thought Tom Rock would too, about what feels most like you.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of inside Bart's perspective, where he feels like he doesn't belong, he doesn't fit in, which makes sense, knowing his character.
Yeah. That's so intentional. I love this scene. This scene is so.
And then they start singing the song they found.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I want this. Yeah, I was like, I want this, and I hope it's downloadable, but I feel like it won't be. And then it turned into a studio. Before it wasn't a studio version, and then like it faded into a studio version. I went, oh yeah, it will be. Where is it? Like,
well, I mean, every BL, every time they sing a song, like odds are an original song. I'm sure it's already on Spotify or something. So we see that they are at church, and Bart's playing at church. We cut back to them playing at the same piano another day because they're wearing different clothes. We see everyone fighting and splashing each other in the shower. We see them playing with each other as they mop. They're talking, walking around outside.
But that's what I wanted to see. Them in the like playing in the water and stuff like that, and with the music as well behind it, it did not disappoint because it's like short and like not a big moment. But I don't mind that it was, because I was like, oh, you still get to see like him kind of through this montage making friends, or at least opening up to people and being a little more perceptive to their friendship. And I really like that we got this little montage here.
Yeah. We even see them at movie night. And then back to playing piano together. So then, that night, Tom Rock is reading the Bible, number 13. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal.
This was at the beginning of the trailer. Yes, I pointed this out when I watched the trailer. Because this was one of my favorite lines in the trailer, and it was the first thing we even heard. And I was like, damn, that's really beautiful. Because it's basically just saying, like, without, like, love or without purpose to whatever I'm saying, if I don't believe or have some sort of, like, truth or knowledge in what I'm saying, then all I'm saying is noise. Like, it's not going to affect anything. It's not going to do anything if I don't believe in it myself. Like, it's fucking phenomenal. I am obsessed with the show already, and it's 2 episodes in.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I wrote like, oh, I don't know what that means, because I kind of completely forgot that had something to do with the trailer.
Without purpose or meaning, your words are just noise.
Yeah. So then we flash back. We have Tom Rock flashback to different scenes we have not seen yet. And he starts singing back to those, and Bart's saying, "Oh, because we're friends."
I like that. I love the cuts that were made in this scene, because it kind of like flickers between a few different moments, and it flickers back to the moment where they were like sitting and watching a movie, and it flickers to a part that we didn't see initially. So it's kind of like them holding hands a little bit, or their hands on top of each other. It kind of is saying like, we didn't see it that first time around. Like, it's almost as if we were seeing it from like either Bart's or Tom Rock's point of view, whatever. But we were seeing it surface level, and then it's almost as if now that we're seeing it now, it was something that when it was happening was kind of being suppressed or hidden away. And now we're seeing it in a montage of him like thinking about everything all at once. Like, it's all coming out.
Yeah, that was interesting that we got to like see that, all that stuff. So then Bart's on his bed. Totally thought it was an imagination thing or something. I did not think it was actually there.
He's just there.
And he's like, hey, I figured it out. I know who's always lies. It's a teaser. But before he can answer, Master Pak catches them, and he's like, hey, you gotta go outside and write names in the cemetery.
Oh, you guys aren't sleepy yet? Good, I have work for you then. I like how we did that. Not tired?
So then as they go outside, we see that Bart's like, oh, do you hear that? And Tom Rock starts getting scared. This is karma for the previous episode when he can't use him.
So are you scared? Okay, what about me last night? Okay, or the other night?
Yeah. So they go to the cemetery, write a name. Apparently John the Baptist is Tom Rock's saint's name. And he's like, well, since we're out here, why don't we do something?
Let's go get some street food. And I was like, yeah, honestly.
And he's like, okay, let's go. And he's trying to hop the fence. He's like, come on. Or at very least help me out, because I can't do it myself.
Yeah.
So he goes, bends down to lift up his legs, and help him scoot up onto the wall.
Again, this is like similar to kind of like the hand-holding part in a way. This is it's less of a very specific direction decision, but I still equate it to that in the fact that we don't see it as a big thing in this moment. It's just a close-up of him lifting him up. But when we see it again from Tanrak's point of view, when he was remembering it, there's a lot more that he was thinking about.
They were it was lingering on that shot a lot longer than just now.
Yeah, exactly. Like we see a lot more thought behind it, and even when he like reaches out his hand, it like holds on him, like staring at it for a second more when he's remembering it. So I really love the decisions that are being made here.
Yeah, and yes, he's like, will you really won't come? I'll help you, as he offers his hand. And he decides not to. But then he starts thinking about that thing that just happened. He starts thinking about it. And starts thinking about the whole desire and lust conversation. Something you should just let go. And then we cut to them sitting outside. Bart now has the roti again. He offers him some. And as he finishes his, he is licking the residue off his thumb and wiping his lip. That Sunrock is definitely clocking.
Yes. And I like, I say this at the end of my reaction, a lot of the moments in this were not, like, the words weren't what really, like, were cluing us into any, like, feelings or stuff. It was their facial expressions. So I really rate Gemini and Fort's
acting. Was very physical.
It was very physical. You could see it in, like, the way eyes were glancing in certain directions. You could see it in their faces, the way they were feeling. They're doing such a good job with this show. I've been so excited, and they're doing such a good job.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, we do see he does eat a little bit of roti. Mm-hmm. And then as they're walking home, Tamara's like, "Oh, I gotta pee," and he's just like, "Pee here."
He's like, "Pee here." I'm like, "Nah, I'd wait till like." Well, then again, like, I don't have the equipment to like.
I was gonna say, yeah, you were gonna be able to pee outside.
It'd be a little harder for me to pee just anywhere. So like, fair enough. But like, I would still like, why not wait until you get back? You're close to being back anyway.
Well, my first thought was I was like, "Are you sure you need a pee?" I was like. Because I knew it was coming in at some point once with like all the like lip stuff and like the thigh stuff, like hand stuff. I was like, wait, something's going on. Like we're gonna get this in this episode. Yeah. And I was like, wait, then now maybe? Like, are you? But no, he decides to go pee, and then Bart pulls up right next to him.
Right next to him.
Starts peeing right next to him. Compliments his aim.
Bruh, crazy. Like I was sitting here going, like, why are we talking about that? Like I was immediately like, but also like the tense energy, like that the last like 10 minutes of this episode, like 5 minutes before this and then onward for the rest of the episode is like the tension is so like good. It's so good, but like it's not the same tension as we've been getting. We've been getting kind of like happy tension, like, oh, we're on the verge of something that we could be a thing. And this is like in a way negative tension that when it's released will become like a positive like relief, like a breath. Like it's
damn, I could not imagine just like Bart pulling up and like we see like Tanrock just like trying to keep his eyes up. He's like, just don't look down. Just don't look down.
Yeah, you could see it in his face, like just being like.
Yeah. Do we think he looked down though? Because we afterwards we flash back when he's thinking more about it and we see like a
yeah, it did look like.
Obviously, like, we don't see it, but we see a more shot of like a
more shot. Yeah.
Maybe he was. Maybe he did sneak a peek.
I wonder. I don't know, because again, this flickers back to the other moments where, like, when he thinks back on it, there's more to it. So he very well could have, and he was just suppressing it.
I personally think he did.
Yeah,
based off what we see later.
Yeah.
Then Tamrock is in bed, but he can't sleep.
No, he's still thinking
about lifting up the thighs, the lip and thumb.
Yup.
As his hand starts going lower and lower. Yep. We cut to them holding hands at the movies and hands together on the piano and him not reaching his hand for the wall.
Yes.
And he's like, okay, I can't sleep. He gets up. He goes to the bathroom and Bart notices him going to the bathroom.
I thought he was going to follow him for a second. But like this music that is playing right now, it is such like... The music sounds like waiting. It sounds like anticipation. It sounds like something is being built to. And I like that, like, I was assuming that it was building to Bart coming in here and it was going to build to, like, the scene from the trailer where it's, like, storming outside and they're looking at each other. But No, it just built to him like kind of like giving in a way. And so I like that it was like not building to them as a couple, but building to Tanrak kind of having to confront something about himself. Every decision made in the show was so masterful.
Yeah, so we see him go to the bathroom. He washes his hands for a bit, then starts wiping his face. And as he does, he kind of lets his, thumb linger.
Do the same thing as it was as Bart was doing.
Yeah, as like he was doing. And we see him look around for a bit. Make sure no one's there. He slowly starts walking. We see flashbacks of the Mary, Joseph. And Jesus.
Joseph. The juxtaposition of him like kind of almost like walking towards what he believes is sin in a way, and then having that intercut with like religious media, like physical media or whatever, is like I will never shut up about how well this show is made.
It's even the Ticket to Heaven poster, like I'm wondering if it's like the juxtaposition of like him about to sin, quote unquote, and all those things, or is it him trying to think of those things as he's doing them? Almost like a regret of like, I'm sorry, I'm doing this. Like I have to.
I would love to see what like Off and the rest of the cast like say about this scene and like how they wanted to make this scene, like a behind the scenes clip. I would love to see that, because
I'm sure we'll get it. So
for now, as like watching it as like an audience member, it very much seems like a situation where art is in the eye of the beholder. Like it's whatever you take away from it, whether he's like trying to stop himself from going, or whether it's him walking towards it and just like it all of this being intercut with him like being like, what I'm about to do is about to like just ruin everything, and just like I'm never gonna see my parents again. And it's like it's whatever you take away from it, honestly, at this moment. And I think it's just so I can't say it again, but like the fucking direction decisions in this episode, at least, like, but in the show at most, fantastic. It's so well made and it's so intentioned and well thought out. It's really well made. And the fact that it ends with him closing the door as well.
Yeah, he goes into the bathroom stall, shuts the door.
And just from Fourth's acting as well, like you can tell it's like a very like slow walk. It's a very like intentional closing of the door, and you can tell that it's like if he were acting a different way, if the music were different, like I think I said in my thing, like if there were horror music playing over this, like it would completely change the scene. But like if same goes for his acting, like if he was just walking into the bathroom just normally, like it wouldn't really you wouldn't really think anything was going to happen. But the way the walk was like so slow and intentional, and the closing of the door was very like final, like it really said like this, what's about to happen right now. And I don't care it took 2 years to make this, it's perfect.
It's so good. Yeah, so he goes in, and what we can kind of see his feet a little bit, and we see his feet are like
moving around a lot.
Moving around, yeah. He's kind of doing his thing.
This is so good.
It was so good, because it's very much like a thing of like he knows, or at least he thinks, his belief is that this is so bad and so wrong, and he shouldn't be doing this. And it's like, oh my god, it's not gonna get him into the Ticket to Heaven. He won't get that. This is the beast that like tempting him, and the fact that he's like still giving in. I'm so curious to see how this affects his character moving forward. And it's like, because now it's like, essentially in his mind, he sinned. Like, this is a sin. You're not supposed to do that. And I want to know.
Like, it's a bigger, I guess, like, quote unquote, the other ones weren't a sin, so he's just done something bad. But this is like written in stone in a way. Like, this is more of a thing.
It's one thing to think things, it's nothing to do things. Like, if you think in your mind, you can always be like, oh, I've had bad thoughts, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where if you actually do something physically, it's like it's harder to, I guess, be forgiven.
And when it's just like him not telling people or not telling authorities that they were being bullied, or that Bart was being bullied, that's just something that he can go and he can pray and be like, my bad, I'm sorry, I should have done that. But like, this is like a much bigger thing to deal with, and I wonder if he is going to be like, feel like he's equipped to handle it, or if he's going to know what to do next, or if it's just going to like be something that almost like shatters him in a way for like an episode or something. Because I'm so
I can see that happening, where he gets like shattered.
Oh, because we know from like the trailer as well, he does ask Father at one point. He does ask like, "Hey, is it a sin to like boys?" Like, I just want to make sure. And so like, yeah, it was in the pilot trailer at the very least. I don't know if it's going to be in like the actual. I can't remember if it was the actual trailer, but in the pilot trailer, he says, "Is it a sin to like boys or whatever?" And it was very much giving. I think his answer was like, "You can, but you can't act on it. The action is what matters," or something like that. So I'm wondering if after this he'll go to him, or if he'll hide it for a minute while he tries to grapple with it himself and then realize he can't grapple with it himself and then go to someone.
I also would really like, I think it'd be funny if like the next episode picks up like right after this, where he's like, getting out after doing his business, and Bart's like right there, because we know Bart watched him go to the bathroom. I'm shocked he didn't follow. Like I'm shocked
he didn't follow him as well. Like
I feel like Bart would, and be like, maybe just check up on him and be like, "You good? You seem kind of like stressed, worried, whatever."
But also, like, I mean, this could play into if he follows him as well, but like, I think both of them realize that the tension is there. Like, because Bart definitely saw him like looking at his finger, like when he was moving it on his lips and everything like that. He noticed that, and it was kind of like a moment.
I think Bart was trying to get him to act, because when he walked up on him,
going to town on his finger
like that.
He was also going to town on his finger. Like I was like, bro, there can't be that much on your finger.
Yeah, I mean, going town on his finger, whipping his dick out right next to him, like he was literally the lust and desire of the roti. Like he's like.
I think both of them know that the tension is there, and I think both of them know at this point that the other knows that the tension is there. It's just whether it's going to be acted on is the question.
I don't think Tom Rock knows that Bart knows, or because.
I think he does, because like obviously there was that moment. Obviously there was that moment with the finger, and he saw him notice that he noticed. But like I think somewhere like beneath the surface, they know that something will happen, or something wants to happen. They just have to decide. At least Tenrock does. He has to decide like whether it's worth it in his eyes.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see how this plays out.
I want to watch the next one. This is so unfair. I have to watch every week.
I know. It's fine.
I want it all at once so I can just watch it all at once.
MVP for this episode. 3, 2, 1. Bart.
Yeah. I said Bart mainly because I liked seeing him open up more. Because like even though it was like mainly a montage, like the little bit before we like at the very beginning of the scene where we see the God always sees us between them, he's walking with people and chatting with them and laughing with them. He's like, "You guys go, I'll catch up with you later." And I'm like, he has friends.
Yeah, I comment on that. He has friends.
He's learning to open up and have friends, and it's like really exciting. And that started with Tanrock. So I'm glad that like his walls are kind of breaking down in a way, and he's letting himself be open to actually speaking to other people and letting them in. So I really like that is happening with him this episode. I think that's why I chose him.
Yeah, I agree. I also like that I'm trying to find the right way to phrase this, because I'm not sure how to. I like the fact that Bart is very much teaching or awakening or showing Tanrock a different side to life.
Yeah, he's bringing him out of his shell, and kind of like they're both bringing each other out of each other's shell in a way.
Yeah, like he's very much teaching him like new things, whether intentionally or not, of like, and trying to get him to like be a little like I think he's almost trying to teach him to live more for himself and not for God.
Yeah, he's helping him be a little less constrained in life, and to worry less about every decision that he makes affecting his afterlife.
Right, yeah. And also, if he did really know that Tanrock's kind of like into him, going next to him to whip his dick out and piss was like a baller move.
I'm sure that's why he did it.
That is insane to me. Dude, I could not even imagine. That would blow my fucking mind.
I could not either.
Well, I feel like it would be weirder for you if that were to happen.
It would be weirder for me. It would be very much weirder for me.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, no, I fully believe that he did this for that reason. Like, I fully believed he kept talking about it while they were doing it for that very reason, too. Like, I genuinely don't believe he was just, like, making conversation. He was like, this is a moment. you know, this is a fucking moment, and I'm gonna make sure that everyone knows this is a moment. So like, there was intention there for sure.
Yeah. Well, that was our recap of A Ticket to Heaven episode 2. Join us next week where we will be recapping Ticket to Heaven episode 3. Yes. So we will see you all then.
See you then.
Bye, everyone.